full debauchery. I love this video already. I'm not xenophobic, but elves? Hell no. Okay, let's start some Warhammer. Warhammer time. It's Warhammer time. Mamma mia. Mamma mia, let me go. Time to start.
Darkness of the 41st millennium.
Wait,
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium exists the Empire of Man, a backwards carcass of an empire comprised
I can't
of
tell if
many
we watched this
devoted
already.
forces, gigantic robot knights, religious machine cultists, and incredibly heavily armored
my
women,
God!
most likely with sweltering abs. And one must know what those abs
I love this
taste
video
like.
already.
My gamer subs flavor is here. Sweet six-pack has arrived.
I love
a delicious
ripped
and refreshing
women.
cherry pineapple blend. Play the sound.
Awesome gamer subs.
Yes, my Bricky's official gamer subs flavor is here. Sweet six-pack, not only in regular energy mode,
How many of you like muscle women?
but also in caffeine-free. The cherry pineapple flavor is not the kind of flavor that just smacks you in the face. It is light, it is refreshing, and it's one of those things where you sip it and you go, not bad. And next thing you know, you are having your fourth refill the same day. And it is available now.
I heard some guys don't like muscle women. They like the small women. Good to know that there's some guys who like muscle women here.
Now, link in the description. Use code Bricky for 10% off your entire order. Not just for this, but for everything you buy. And I'm not dumb. If you buy any of these tubs, regular caffeine-free of my
yes,
sweet
sponsorship.
six-pack flavor, you will get a
I like all
Muscle
women
Girl
too.
32-ounce
my
shaker completely
God.
for free. There are only a couple thousand of those
She's
shakers,
so
get it while
cute.
supplies lasts. I cannot believe we finally have this, but I told everyone, like, once you find out the flavor, you'll be like, yeah, that tracks. And damn straight does
How
it
many
track.
of you would
Sweet
let a
six-pack
muscle mom
available
punch you in
now.
the face?
Code Bricky, link in the description.
Alright, on to the video. Dun dun dun!
The age of knowledge and
That
enlightenment
kind of sounded like the Skyrim. Yeah.
has ended. The age of darkness has begun.
The Age of Darkness.
Roughly 60 million years ago, there existed
Okay, that's a long time ago.
These aliens lived short,
Ew.
painful lives. They belonged to radiation-stricken worlds and often died of various cancers before the age of 30. These aliens, the Necron tier, looked up
Oh,
to
they
the
look kinda
stars
scary.
and found extreme beings of real power. Beings with the ability to create life. The Old Ones of the galaxy. They asked these Old Ones for help. Please cure us
Ooh,
of
is
our
that
ailments.
Earth?
To which the Old Ones said,
Probably not. I don't
piss
know.
off. So the Necron tier gathered together and did the sensible thing. They declared war upon these old beings and were promptly beaten into the dirt back to their
Every time I look at the Necrons, I see General Grievous. I see General Grievous, and I see the skeleton guys from Ninjago.
short, painful lives. In the world of Warhammer, there is a hell. This hell is not like you and I know it. It's more of an afterlife, a place where dead souls end up. This place has many
The
names. The
afterlife.
Imperium, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium, and the Ether. But mostly, we just call it the Warp. While you and I
Oh,
know
okay.
of hell as a place
I know
of
the
horrors
Warp.
and punishment, the Warp isn't really that. Not in the beginning. It's energy but the kind of energy formed from
Sheepy
thought
Ray?
and soul, psychic energy, where the dead
Hi, everyone.
souls of people end up in a place that is impossible to understand. No laws of reality exist. Like, time is merely a suggestion, and it is not something that can be braved easily. The warp would be like sailing the ocean in a pirate movie. To jump from your ship would be certain death. To stay in the sea for too long on your boat could drive a man mad. And there are many dangerous things lurking in those depths. Yet the sea is not evil. It simply is.
Is there warp monsters?
There are more malevolent beings in those waters. Areas that you do not...
I don't know who this is. Is this Corn? I don't know. He has a stomach mouth.
Sail towards. This would be known as the realm of chaos. The realm of chaos exists in the warp as a special area led by 3 chaos gods. Corn, the god of combat, murder, and slaughter, with a pile of skulls taken in his name. Tzeentch, god of change, mystery, and deceit, a confusing paradox of lies, schemes, and sorceries. And Nurgle, god of rot, pestilence, and Genshin
but his name is cute.
All things rot in the end. And Grandfather Nurgle is waiting for you with open arms. These gods ruled their respective realm in the warp, sending their many followers against each other in the great game to be the most powerful of all the gods. So the warp exists. Hell is real, parallel to our galaxy, with the realm of chaos and its gods fighting for control.
Look at his cute little smile. Aw, everyone say hi, Corn. Hello, Corn.
But there are also gods of real space, gods of the normal world too. They're called Catan, and they eat stars.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
These star gods saw the plight of our poor...
I mean, every time I assume he looks at the Twitter timeline and sees how deranged and sees the weird furry art, he probably is very disappointed in us. Anyways.
Or Necron tier, and how the old ones cast them aside and said, you know what? You guys want immortality? Oh, we will make it happen. We are the gods of the tangible, of real space. We can give you a cure. So then they ate all their souls.
Oh, real.
And turned them into robots.
This is why you never trust anyone who goes up to you and is like, I can give you immortality. I can give you the elixir of life. You just have to give something in return. And then you're like, oh, what's in return? We cannot tell you until we give you this immortality. And then they take your soul and then torture you forever. But you're alive forever, so then you have to deal with it for eternity. Anyways.
Automaton, feasting on their souls and leaving a hollow shell of an intelligence left that is technically immortal. With the power of an entire species' souls, they turned their new robotic slaves on the old ones and hunted them to extinction. The Necron tier, now the soulless, undying Necrons, got their wish at the price of their souls. But we can count the number of kind gods on an amputated hand. With time, the selfish star gods turned on each other, fighting one another for more chances at glory and power. With this, the leader of the Necrons, Zarek, the Silent King, the man who doomed his species when he accepted this deal, waited, planned, bide his time until he seized the perfect moment and turned his legions of undead citizens against the star gods. Gods cannot be killed, but they can be broken. So Zarek broke the star gods into thousands.
The Native Americans refer to corn as maize.
Of pieces and locked them away in vaults, taking their free will away as they did to them.
Is this
and sealed them away as
it's okay. I'll watch the
Pokemon to be used as weapons in the future.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's the Void Dragon.
Zarek then, with his perfect memory, exiled himself for his sins, flying out to the darkness between galaxies to atone for what he had done. This entire situation, the genocide of the Old Ones and the rebellion of
Corn
Zarek,
for the
will
corn
go down
god.
in history as the War in Heaven. It is the
It's Skeletron!
most brutal war the galaxy has ever seen and ever will see. This was a conflict that took an entire galaxy-spanning species and pitted them against gods that ate stars. The Necrons, rather crippled from, you know,
Well,
the war in
Yeah.
heaven, decide to go to sleep in gigantic tomb worlds on various planets until the upstart species of the galaxy died out. And so turns out, when you have a war that lasts tens, hundreds of thousands of years and involves the genociding of multiple species, the old ones in the
Yeah.
galaxy, and the consumption of souls from an entire race, the warp gets a little wacky. You know, if you had a kiddie pool and it was nice and calm, Korn is over there splashing about, so you don't really go in that direction. Nurgle has
Yeah.
explosive diarrhea, so you don't really go in
Ew.
that direction either.
I
But
knew
you
he
can
was
still kinda
gross.
get in the pool. The pool's still fine. Turns out, when you add a couple trillion souls to that kiddie pool,
Yeah, doesn't it get
it'll make
over-
the waves a little more turbulent.
Yeah.
And turns out, a lot of them like to pick a side.
Kinda
Nurgle,
overfilled,
Tzeentch,
right?
or Korn. So the once calmer warp,
be real, who would you choose? Which one would you choose?
the once relaxing kiddie pool, has now been bloated. A million years of war will certainly make Korn, god of murder and slaughter, more powerful. A million years of war will probably make Tzeentch, god of deception and change, a little more powerful. And good God, a million years of war will make Nurgle, god of decay, oh, just the tiniest bit
I
more
don't know,
powerful.
I think I'd
Now
choose
entering that
Korn,
kiddie pool
maybe.
is no longer fun, it's dangerous. The warp is now a problem. Hell is resembling hell a lot closer to what we imagined it originally. The Sea
Well,
of
that's not
Souls
good.
and the Realm of Chaos are now
Yuck.
intertwined. So who else to brave the galaxy than a species that won't need to deal
No!
with that?
Yuck! No, the elves!
The Eldar are
Elves!
space elves. They have a lot of the traits that you
Ew.
probably think of when you think of elves. Tall, slender, pointy ears, bit more androgynous looking.
Listen, I'm not racist. Against elves? Anyway.
Deviant will tell you. And a bit stronger on the emotional side. The old ones, as I mentioned, could create life. And when they were getting, you know, absolutely bodied by the Catan and the Necrons, they made some new races to try to help them. One of them was the Eldar. It didn't save them,
Boo!
but they're here now anyway. Oh, and also the Orcs, but they're busy right now.
Orcs!
The Eldar are a particularly psychically powerful race, so they were really adept at being able to handle the new turbulent warp of chaos and good at killing Necrons, hence why they went to sleep. Being psychically gifted is basically like being a wizard, but you get your wizard powers from hell. This is called being
Remember, last soul, you must stay a virgin till 30, and that's when you get your wizard powers. We can be wizards together. Okay? You promise?
a psyker. And basically, if you want to do cool wizard shit like lightning from your hands or reading someone's
Oh.
mind,
Like Palpatine!
you can do that, but you siphon the energy to do that from the warp.
Avatar: The
Luckily,
Last
the
Airbender.
Eldar are very good at handling this without too many negative effects because, you know, summoning power from the Sea of Souls with the new Chaos friends can be a bit of an issue. But Eldar are pretty good at it. And you see, what's really cool and also awful about Warhammer is that most developed species travel long, faster than light distances by going through that warp. They create a tear in reality to unreality and move through it. Faster than light
I knew
travel.
it was a wormhole.
We go through hell itself to deliver your packages. For those of you who play Minecraft, you know how the Nether is like a
I
pocket
love
dimension.
Minecraft.
So moving 10 spaces in the Nether is actually moving something like 1,000 in the real world. That's basically what
Whoa.
warp travel is. Just much like in the Nether, there are a lot of things
Isn't
that
it
want to
80?
kill you. The Eldar found a way to do so in between
Or 160.
realities. Not regular reality, not the warp, something else, a purgatory of sorts, a fabricated psychic realm that allowed them to travel without fearing the negative effects of the warp. The Eldar were the perfect fit for the new galaxy, and they took it with open arms and pointy ears. The empire of the Eldar spread everywhere, and it spread all the way until now, the 21st century. That's right, while you were watching NPC streams on TikTok, the space elves were ruling the galaxy, and they did so for quite a long period of time.
Thank you for the ammo, sir.
The 21st century came and went. Humanity grew and grew, all under the nose of their elf overlords. At this time, humans advanced. Your classic sci-fi style way. We began to expand, colonize our solar system, terraformed our planets, created new and more powerful machines and starships. The Age of Terra, also known as Earth, but we call it Terra here, was here. And existed between the 21st century all the way until the 15th millennia. Not much is known about this time. Not much needs to be known. Humanity grew up, sought the stars. It's classic. Then came the years between 15,000 and 25,000.
She's a really cute horse girl.
Or to some, the dark age of technology. This is when humanity reached a new apex of technological understanding. When you think of sci-fi, there's a lot of things you can think of. Star Trek, maybe Star Wars style. You can go cyberpunk dystopian. The age of technology was deep sci-fi, like a scientific prowess that fringed on magic. This is all—
I'm not xenophobic. The only race I don't like is not even real. All real races are lovely and can be celebrated. But elves? Hell no.
Also when the first ever psychers began showing up in humanity. Individuals with the genetic mutation to be able to access the warp and then, because of that, travel through it. Humanity was no longer constricted to their early ways of travel. With warp travel, they could go anywhere in the galaxy. They equipped ships with gigantic AI machines, with everything you would ever need to know about mankind, and sent them out on colony ships to
Which faction says AI is an abomination? I know there's a faction who just hates AI. Okay, wait.
Expand their influence across the galaxy.
Awesome.
This was truly the golden age of humanity. And with every golden age, there is a fall.
There's a femto. Oh no! Who's the femto?
While the new human upstarts of the galaxy were reaching new levels of technology and prowess,
the equivalent to
Eldar were engaging in
debauchery. I knew it! I knew it!
What happens
the elves, they're
when a
all
species
evil.
has everything? You can produce unlimited food out of nothing. Your need for farmers and workers, gone. You have dominated the stars and have created a fast travel system that doesn't rely on the dangers of the warp. You have nothing else to do. You have no struggles, no problems, and feel—
Can we not be nice friends and hang out and play video games together and have creative hobbies instead of touching each other inappropriately without asking?
As if there is nowhere else to go. Well, you begin to experiment. The Eldar started harmless enough. You know, you take a serious interest in your species' culture, your arts, paintings, poems, plays. These are Eldar, elves, remember? Their emotions are heightened, more powerful than us humans. So your plays get louder. They start to push on the limits of your hearing ability. Your music becomes different, more deranged. It pushes the boundaries of what is art. The visual spectacle of art becomes more bizarre.
Ooh, that was so cool.
Delusional, more eccentric. And let's not forget a very important sense. Touch. Pornography is one thing. Brothels is another. What if they all mixed?
See, this is what happens when we engage in sinful debauchery. It just keeps deforming and turning into something we can't handle anymore. Anyways.
If your brothels were part of your art and music? And what if those became more deranged? The boundaries of debauchery were not just met, but shattered. Next thing you know, murder is commonplace and often mixed with the art, music, and sex. Pain is a...
Can we just, like, play video games together? Let's watch some movies together. Instead of this! Anyways.
Common byproduct of entertainment. Whatever sensation you can have must be increased, must be enhanced, must be taken to the limits. The Eldar Empire slipped into a nightmarish realm of debauchery and excess.
See, this is why you can never trust elves. This is why I
in the webway, a
hate
black
elves
market
so
for these
much.
kinds of heinous acts known as Kamara. Some Eldar
Thank you for the super chat. More proof elves don't deserve the Emperor's forgiveness. So true.
saw the writing on the wall, saw what was happening to their species and how far they had slipped. So they boarded continent-sized starships called craft worlds and left their empire, seeking a more enlightened, calmer existence among their peers. Some, those in Kamara, pushed it to even greater heights, relishing the pain and torment they inflicted on those around them. All during this, the warp, the yin to the yang of the world, was fed by these...
Idle hands are where the demon lies. How about let's create society and have everyone work and have plenty of hobbies so we don't have idle hands.
Emotions, by the psychic power of the Eldar, by the souls taken in these depraved acts on a galactic scale. And just like that, Eldar ended. Slanesh, the fourth chaos god, was burst into existence and consumed the souls of 90% of the Eldar population. Those that fled were spared the worst of it, and those in the webway in Kamara were able to stave off the pull of Slanesh so long as they continue to commit horrid acts of torture and violence. But for the majority of the Eldar, their empire died with Slanesh's birth. The new fourth chaos god, he who thirsts, the god of unspeakable excess of pleasure, pain, hedonism, and perfection,
this is bad too.
Born. With the fall of the Eldar Empire came the ruin of humanity. Slanesh's birth sent storms in the warp across the galaxy, making travel between star systems impossible. Coupled with a huge classic AI rebellion, as a staple in these sci-fi settings, humanity began to suffer the age of strife. Now, planets that relied on...
Thank you for the $20 super chat. An important detail is Eldar could reincarnate at will upon death and even choose to wipe their memories of past lives when getting births again. So death didn't mean much to them. Now Slanesh numbs their souls instantly. Why? Why do elves get to live for eternity? They're like the worst race.
Intergalactic travel were completely
they're a bunch of Epstein lovers.
Messages yeah,
seems like something that the elves would make.
If you were a planet that was great at mining stuff but couldn't get food, well, you know that movie about the rugby players in the mountains? Oh, and because of these insane warp storms and fluctuations, psychers began to... So
what I'm hearing is that elves are Epstein lovers. Got it.
...appear among the human population a bit more often. Now, this initially had them hunted down as witches, because that's
on
pretty
the island.
common in this... setting, but some deemed it right to protect them. Unfortunately for those people, psychers, because they open a gateway to the warp, don't really know how to use their powers well, and they kinda attract demons, who then force their way through the psyker as a conduit of sorts and begin to slaughter the population of your planet. The Age of Strife was a catastrophic period of time for humanity and set back their progress tenfold over the not one, not two, but 5,000 year period. During this time, the age of humanity that we know began to form. World...
My God, someone needs to check your hard drive. They're as worse as the Slanesh. The only reason why they're still alive is because they're like, I don't know. Anyways, nobody tell her one of the Emperor's son, the dude in charge of the Imperium, has a goth dommy mommy elf wife at the moment. He knows what must be done. The bloodline must continue.
Equipped with large mechs for agriculture, began to equip them with weapons to defend from alien and demonic invaders. Over 5,000 years, this became a custom and tradition, dubbing them as Night Worlds, a feudal society of honor-bound knights in gigantic robots that uphold the chivalric code to defend their worlds and honor. A group of individuals on Mars after...
Oh yeah, if I didn't say thank you for the super chat, thank you for the lore drop of the dommy mommy wife. Heresy! Anyways.
Radioactively bombing their planet to become inhospitable to human life, ran their entire lives underground on the few life support systems keeping them alive. Those technicians who could work on the machines and keep them operational were revered, and over 5,000 years went from skilled members of society to full-blown priests. The cult Mechanicus, or tech priests of Mars, formed in the ashes of the Red Planet with a religious fervor and doctrine on the cult of the machine god. And on Earth, or Terra, techno-barbarian tribes waged war across the planet in a Mad Max style of blood and gore, until finally, a mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed himself to the populace. His name was the Emperor. He deemed himself the Emperor of mankind. Where did he come from? I don't know. Why is he 10 feet tall and the most powerful psyker of all of mankind?
What race is the Emperor? Is he human?
I don't know. Why is he basically immortal? I don't know.
Wow.
Where'd Cotton Eye...
Oh my goodness, Cotton Eye Joe! Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I've been married a long time ago. Where'd you come from? Where'd you
go? Who knows? But he's here, and
the Emperor has very long and luscious hair.
So he began the Unification Wars, where
he's like in a L'Oreal Paris ad.
And a very early version of the famous Space Marines, the
cold.
Thunder Warriors, reunited Terra under a single banner. With blood. Then, after taking over Earth, he reunited the Thunder Warriors into the fucking dirt. This is where we get the Imperium of Man, also known as the Imperium. The new faction headed by the Emperor of Mankind with a treaty signed
I'm not going to say my thoughts on his appearance.
To spread out and reunite humanity after the catastrophic Age of Strife. But first, the Emperor is going to need some smaller versions of himself. 20 of them, 18 of them, I meant, gene-crafted sons of the strongest human to ever live. All of them possess unparalleled strategic power, intelligence, formidable strength and size. A real powerful force to unite humanity and stop the chaos of the current galaxy. Speaking of chaos, you ever seen that image of that guy? It's like throwing the baby like a basketball. It's about what happened. The Chaos Gods intervened and grabbed the 18 Primarch gestation pods and yeeted them across the galaxy at a whim, everywhere they could possibly go. A galactic game of keep away. So the Emperor had to get them back. So begins the Great Crusade, a crusade across the stars to reunite not just humanity, but the Emperor with his fallen sons.
Hopefully this one
the first
goes well.
to be found was Horus. One of the strongest and most noble sons. The Emperor carried with him a legion of newly crafted warriors with genetic material made from their Primarch father. These are the newly made Space Marines. For Horus, his were the Luna Wolves. And as the Emperor continued on his Great Crusade, he found more and more of his sons, reuniting them with their individual Space Marine legions. Leman Russ, the cunning hunter with the Space Wolves. Rogel Dorm, the phalanx with the Imperial fists. Angron, the barbarian, the very angry with his world eaters. Fulgrim, the perfect with his Emperor's children. And Jagatai Khan, the swift,
he looks like
the stoic, and his white scars. Those were just some of the 18, and one by one his lost Primarch sons were returned to him, and their Space Marine legions returned to them. The Great Crusade saw humanity once again reconquer the stars, returning worlds of humanity back to the Imperium and killing any and all who stood against their noble crusade. But in the years of the 31st millennia, treachery would break this all apart. Men! Horus the Emperor's most beloved and favored sons, named War Master for the Crusade, succumbed to the power of chaos and daddy issues. All because of that bastard
not
Erebus.
daddy issues. He looks like the guy from the Society of the Blind Eye episode from Gravity Falls. I don't know why I brought that up a second stream, but
Erebus. Slowly, Horus would become corrupted, turning the Emperor's sons against him. This begins the most pivotal moment in our story, and the one that has
Horus
like
Space
50
Marine.
books written about it. The Horus
50
Heresy.
books?
Half. 9
Horus
of the 18
Heresy.
Primarchs turned against the Emperor, and the following years were a bloody battle for the throne of Terra. The Emperor originally was working on a special webway project, just like the Eldar, to make faster-than-light travel significantly easier and safer. Really improve humanity to allow them to conquer the stars without the risk of the warp. Well, this big red idiot named Magnus kind of blew a hole into that. Literally and figuratively.
Big red
so
idiot.
Biggie over there is stuck on
Biggie.
a gigantic golden throne, holding back the oncoming rush of demons and powering the Astronomicon. Basically a big North Star for people who are sailing in the warp to help them navigate. The Horus Heresy saw many loyalist and
I know
traitor
the
legions pitted against
Astronomicon.
each other in a bloody war until it reached Terra itself. Horus, unable to break through the lines and with time running out, made a gambit and opened his ship up to be boarded. The Emperor took this challenge, quickly allowing someone else to take control of the throne as he teleported his way onto Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit. The Emperor, unable to truly kill his most beloved son, changed his mind right quick when Horus strangled the life out of his other son, Sanguinius.
Oh no!
I'm sure you've seen this image at some
no.
point. The Emperor then said, "I'm not gonna sugarcoat it," and proceeded to psychically blast Horus into complete oblivion, killing not only his body, but also his soul.
go off, Emperor.
Horribly wounded from this duel, the Emperor is returned to the Golden Throne in order to keep the demons at bay and power the Astronomicon, because without it, humanity would be flying blind. There he sits,
Leroy Jenkins.
slowly dying from his wounds and the strain of powering the Golden Throne. The only thing keeping him alive is
This is
feeding
the
upon
Emperor.
the souls of 1,000 psychers every single
The Emperor is in like a vegetative state, right?
day. This was 10,000 years ago. We are now in the 41st millennium, modern day. Warhammer 40,000.
Ooh.
The Emperor remains on
Warhammer
his throne.
40,000.
The Imperium is a rotting carcass of an empire, a fascist, xenophobic cult that worships the Emperor as a deity despite him never wanting to be seen as a god. Over the span
I mean, I like all the other races. I just don't like the Eldar. I just don't like one of them.
of 1 million worlds, the ecclesiarchy, the church of
Right,
the
thank
emperor,
you.
is spread throughout. Inquisitors with unparalleled power root out any sign of heresy or lack of devotion to their god emperor. The other half of the traitor legions move about as chaos space marines, raiding and pillaging the Imperium, while the loyalist half does their best to keep the empire alive. All throughout this, they must endure orc invasions, Eldar trickery, the reawakening of the Necron race, and the Great Devourer, the newest tyrannid.
Hope you have a great rest of your stream. Thank you, Sin. Thank you for the raid.
Threat from the darkness between galaxies that has arrived to feast on their worlds. The theme of Warhammer 40,000 is regression and intolerance. Every major faction of Warhammer has had an empire that spanned the galaxy only to be crushed back to a hollow shell of what they once
the
were
battle,
due to their
ladies.
own failings. Culture, the arts, personal freedom, religious tolerance, the simple possibility that alien life might not want to kill us is considered heretical and is often met with a pistol to the head. There is no time for these things. All there is time for is worship of the God Emperor and a million wars to be fought. To be a human.
Do y'all like this? Do you like the Imperium?
in the 41st millennia is 99% of the time to live a horrible existence, to be one of trillions of other humans across a million worlds throughout the galaxy. A galaxy where AI is outlawed, so humans are repurposed.
Oh my god, really? AI is outlawed. Oh, that's so awesome.
And lobotomized to become
Finally.
slaves. A place where lack of devotion is
Oh, but
met
it's the
with
Inquisitors.
death. And
They
if
look
you
cool.
even have devotion,
Boo.
there's a good chance the threats to the galaxy, chaos, and aliens will kill you anyway. Warhammer is a world where you revel in being bad. There are protagonists, there are antagonists, but every faction is some shade of evil. Because playing the bad guys is always more fun. And my friend, you have a selection. So pick up that lasgun soldier. You and the other 3 million men and women in this single
3
deployment
million.
on this single world in this single.
Wait, there's women? Oh my goodness, there's women that fight. I didn't know that. All I see is men. There's just men here. Oh, I didn't know that women fight.
Battle will now show them the might of the God Emperor. That weapon in your hands has killed 99% of the alien population.
Unbased.
In this galaxy. Unfortunately for you,
I'm only for babies. That's a joke. I'll stop. I'll stop.
soldier, you're fighting the final 1%. May the Emperor be with us. Glory to the first man to die, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only
Oh my, she's... Never mind. Let me fight. She looks awesome. I know that there's battle ladies. I want to be a battle girl. I don't remember their name. Closest thing to good is the Lamenters Chapter Pro. Wow. Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Battle. Yeah, I don't want to be a Sister of Battle. Either that. I feel like the most... not relaxing, but the most drama-free life you could have is being a Nid.